gorgeous. Yeah, it's windy out here today and we're not going to stay outside for long, but I just have to show you this because it won't be here for much longer. So there's the circle garden looking beautiful, and I just walked past it on my way back from my walk today, and I saw more or less this, but from lower down, and it's beautiful. So I wanted you to see this. You know, it's fabulous. Hopefully Facebook will take a snapshot of that and put it on the front of the video. Morning Sharon, morning Kaya. Just showing you the last of the near-end glory before we go inside. Oh, and look over there. See if I can get to this. Morning Tracy, morning Linda. Before I go inside, hopefully the Wi-Fi won't die. Over here, these ones are brighter. They still get chewed, but these ones are really hot pink. So, yeah, it's lovely out here, and I wanted you to see this. Here's one that hasn't been eaten. Brand new and fresh and open today. So we're going to go inside, but you have to imagine the sweet scent of these massed nearines. And, well, here's the garden. So, I'll just walk on in. And look, you can see the last of the roses. Okay, I'll show you this too. I just think it's a bit windy. You'll get a lot of wind noise out here, so we'll go inside. But there you go, isn't that beautiful? Second flush of roses on a rambler rose that normally only flowers once, so lucky for us. Right, now in we go. Take the short walk into the house. Okay, through the fly screen and the unrenovated laundry that I'm very grateful to have. And lots of people don't have a laundry. Imagine not having a laundry. Plenty of people don't. So, doors I forgot to close, and the cushions I forgot to put back in the right place after my meditation this morning. Right, here we are. Well, yes, you know, that's the thing, Kaya. There is a lot of health, and there's a lot of drama, and there's a lot of fear that is being either accepted and believed and surrendered to, or even actively promoted. And the one thing I can say about it, because this is not a coronavirus post, is I'm not playing. I'm just not playing. I'm not playing. I saw a story, a write-up from a Kiwi New Zealander who had the coronavirus and barely noticed it. They didn't get sick at all, really. You know, mild, whatever. Just after 6, Tracy. It works quite well. And I saw another write-up from someone who had it, and they were really sick for a week, and it took them another week to get over it, and they were fine. And they didn't go to hospital because they didn't want, in their words, a $20,000 bill that they would be charged, so I don't know where they were. So, you know, yes, people get the virus, yes, they get sick, and yes, most of them recover, and if you're in the at-risk group, then the rest of us need to be looking after you and doing our best to stop the transmission, all taking our responsibilities, all caring for ourselves and each other. That is all I want to say. And it is easy for me because I work at home and I don't go anywhere very much. All of my connection is here, right? So I'm no authority, and that's most of it for me is I don't want to be thinking about all the difficulty and the fear because that doesn't contribute. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Now today I want to talk about trusting your intuition. Remember we were talking about that yesterday, Linda. You said, you know, I've got this intuition and I know it's right, but it's really challenging to follow this intuition. And I asked you a question yesterday and I haven't seen your response, so this is coming from, you know, I'm sure you've told me something, but anyway. I was thinking about what is it that makes it hard to follow your gut feeling when you really know it's right. And we were talking yesterday, the other thing we were talking yesterday about was coherence. And the fact that, you know, if you've got this thing in front of you, an opportunity, a decision, a choice, and you are scared witless, or you're very sad, or you're feeling very coerced or stressed or pressured to make a choice, you're probably not going to make a good choice, because when you're in that stressful state of being, Your mind is really like an animal that's running from a predator. That's what's going on. And in that state of mind, that state of body, that state of being, you're not thinking clearly, and you're not thinking like an evolved human. You are thinking like an animal that's saying, I have to survive. Get the hell out of my way. I will, it's just, this is literally, evolutionarily, physically, what's going on in our brains and our bodies when we're stressed. Hi, Berna! And the more stressed you are, the more pressure, the worse it is. You're not thinking clearly. And you're not feeling clearly, which is why if you're feeling like that, you actually can't trust your gut feeling. Because your gut feeling is just this running thing. There's a tiger, I got to run away from the tiger. I am in fear. I'm in survival. And so we don't know and we aren't connected. And, then when you get an intuition and it comes to you and the initial response is, I know this is right. I just know this. And then all your stuff is coming up, Oh, but how are you going to do it? That's why we feel fear, right? It's something new. It's this wonderful door that's opening and it's something new and you haven't done it before. And, if evolutionarily, doesn't matter, Linda. You asked a great question. That was the main thing. Evolutionarily, the brain and the body have learned to fear what's new in the environment, because if you know what is going on and everything is familiar and predictable, then you've pretty much worked out how to survive it. By the way, that's one of the reasons why there's so much fear around COVID-19, because everything's disrupted. And, we don't know if we're going to be able to go to the shops next week, and we don't know, and we don't know, and we don't know, and all this fear of the unknown is just huge right now. What's going to happen? Am I going to get sick? Am I going to die? Is someone that I care about going to die? It's actually the same situation. There is a big, huge unknown happening all around the world right now, and people are discovering how scary the unknown can be. And here's the thing. I have to say this because it's really precious to me. When there is disruption, when there is chaos, when things are breaking down, you know what else is happening? There is opportunity. There is creation. You cannot actually have something new until the old thing has started to fall apart. It's not possible. You can't have two things in the same place at one time in this three-dimensional reality. Same with states of being. You can't be in survival and creation at the same time. So, get back to the point, Maddie. Here's an intuition. Here's an opportunity. Here's an unknown. Here's a thing that's not familiar to you, and our innate, evolved response is to find it frightening. What do? Because you can carry on running around like a scared animal and grabbing everything off the grocery shelves, and we see this, right? And, I've got to get everything I can. Me first. We become very selfish. And it's just evolution. It's just how the brain and the body work. I've got to protect my body. I don't care about you. I want that. I don't care that you're old and vulnerable and you can't quite figure out why there's nothing on the shelves that you've been shopping from the last 30 years. Angie, good morning, gorgeous. I need that. And so we become selfish and we stop looking after each other, right? That's what that state of mind and body and being does. And I'm not beating up on people. I'm just saying that's what happens when you go into survival. Me first. We become very selfish. Because that's what the hormones of stress do. So, and remember, I said yesterday, when you're in that state of running away from a predator, your brain is going, I've got to look over there. I've got to listen to this. I've got to notice that news item. I've got to check my phone. I've got to make sure everything's all right as much as I can. And the brain becomes very incoherent. Eric, it's great to see you, honey. Very incoherent. Because all the different compartments in the brain are busy off doing their things and they stop communicating, and then you really don't function well. And your body gets an incoherent chemical and neurological signal, and if you do that for long enough, you will get sick. It's a genetic fact. It's an epigenetic fact. It's science. They understand this now. So, if you want to be able to trust your gut feeling again, Teresa, lovely to see you, honey, then you've actually got to do something about the extremely incoherent state of being in your brain. Period. This is what I understand now. Freddie, good morning. So, how do we do that? Yesterday, I talked about breathing in and out of your heart. And I thought, I didn't have time to explain what heart coherence is. And I thought, what the hell is heart coherence? I practice this, I do it. But what actually is it? And I sort of had to go back to my internal, the little Joe Dispenza, the huge Joe Dispenza that's inside my head. And this is, as quickly and succinctly as I can remember it, what heart coherence is. And I've seen pictures, I've seen graphs of, they put a heart rate variability monitor on people. And you can see, when they're just thinking and they're going around their lives, it goes up and down because their heart rate is not consistent. And a healthy heart rate goes up and down because we need to adapt, right? And some of you will probably have noticed, if you get still and you breathe in and your heart starts to really, you really start to feel your pulse, that when you breathe in, it goes a little faster. And when you breathe out, it goes a little slower. Now, you notice that when you lengthen the breath, right? You're not going to notice it in normal breathing. But if you slow down, you pay attention to your breath and you lengthen your breath in and then you lengthen your breath out, it goes faster in and slower out. And that's a function of the autonomic nervous system, and it's normal. I used to think I didn't understand. That's heart rate variability, and it's good, right? So you see, because when you breathe in, the sympathetic nervous system gets a hello, and that makes things go faster. And when you breathe out, the parasympathetic nervous system, the two branches of the autonomic nervous system, gets a hello, and everything slows down. Lisa Louise, good morning. So it's, fight or flight, rest and digest. And there's a balance. We need both. So when you look at somebody's heart rate variability measurements, and you see this wiggly lines and goes up and hi, Charlotte. When a person gets coherent, the pattern changes. It becomes very regular, and it goes up and down, 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 and it's very regular. And when you are in heart coherence, you know how you feel? Fantastic. Joy, love, expansion, limitless, worthy, whole. It's the most fabulous feeling in the universe. There's nothing better than heart coherence. So that's why I rave about breathing in and out of your heart, because if you practice that and you get determined and you do that, you will end up in elevated states of emotion. End of story. Now, if you're used to being extremely incoherent, it's going to take some practice. You might sit down and have an amazing experience after 3 minutes. That'd be awesome. But if you don't think that it's not working, I can't do it, it doesn't work for me. You just need to practice it, period. And you can look up, if you go to the Heart Math Institute, I can't even remember what the thing is, but if you just Google that, they've got a tools archive on their site, really simple tools for everybody from age, I think 2 to 200, really simple tools using essentially that process to help you change your state. So we have no excuse. The tools are there, the information is there. You can make your heart coherent. You can go from having a really incoherently beating heart to one that is super coherent, and when you do that, you feel these elevated states and you get order. The body becomes more orderly, and because 95% of the neurons that go between your heart and your brain go up, when your heart becomes more orderly, your brain does too, right? So, brain coherence. Brain coherence, if you ever see a functional brain scan, the one where they put the cap on the person that's got all the little dots, and those little dots, one on each different compartment of the brain, right? And each compartment of the brain makes a brain wave, and you see all the strip chart, and there's all these different lines along it. In fact, I can show you a picture. I'll do this. I'll be quick. I'm just trying to show you one that just looks like ordinary. Just got to find one. Okay. So I hope you can see this. See, this is a strip chart from my copy of Becoming Supernatural. And all of those little lines each one represents a different part of the brain. Now, when you're incoherent, and I'm going to try and find you, I don't think it's going to be big enough for you to see, but when you are incoherent, those little lines are going like the orchestra that's not playing together, right? When you become coherent, they all go up and down together. It's as if you had one pen, like you had a long thing and it had a different colour on each little bit of it, and you're just moving the whole thing up and down, and it's amazing. I don't think I can show you the detail, but maybe you can see this. See how all the peaks and the troughs, yeah, you can see this, the peaks and the troughs are all lined up? That's coherence. That is a brain working in unison. And when you do that, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And you know stuff. You know when you are coherent, you know, because all of the is gone. It's gone. It goes away. So how do we do that? Practical stuff, Maddie. This is what I wanted to get to. The very first thing, the simplest, and this is science, okay? The simplest way, although the Buddhists have been practicing this kind of meditation for thousands of years, the simplest way to do this is to practice convergent and then divergent focus. Now, what do I mean by that? Oh, left and right sides with coherence, they communicate properly. But though all of those lines on the strip chart, Angie, they're different parts of the brain, all over the brain. If you look up, Google picture of functional brain scan, you see a person wearing a little cap and it's got all these things on it with lots of wires. And it ends up with a strip chart like that. And you can look at it on the screen and it's amazing to watch the brain in action. Well, Karen, here's the thing. You can change it. People have changed their brains from like tremendous depression and PTSD and physical illness because it's all the same thing. It's incoherence in the brain and the heart, and then the body becomes incoherent. Don't believe what you've been told. People have reversed Parkinson's, okay? Neurological conditions that don't go backwards, they've reversed them. Congenital blindness, tra-la-la. It's all possible. I don't buy what's possible and what's not possible now. So let me stay on target or we won't have time again. Convergent focus means, how... I love this. You know how on Monday I said, put your focus on your left toe. I didn't even say your left big toe is what I was thinking about. You can become coherent, Karen. You totally can. It just takes some practice. So now you're thinking about your big toe. And then on Tuesday I said, now think about your left butt cheek. And suddenly you had a left butt cheek. What did I ask you to think about yesterday? I can't even recall. I asked you, well, now think about this. Put your attention in your heart. That's what it was. So convergent focus is that. It's saying, I'm going to put all of my attention on this, right? And what we do, most naturally, is we obsess about all the things that can go wrong in our lives. Coronavirus, what's going to happen? How awful will it be? Where am I going to be? And haven't we all been doing that? Not me, but, I refuse. No. But isn't it so easy? And I remember thinking and feeling and thinking like this when I was younger. Oh my God, my brain would get into a loop and I would just work myself up into a rage or a sorrow or whatever it was, because it goes round and round and round and round and round. We can break that. But to do that, you've got to learn first to say, hey, body, you've memorized the state of incoherence or anger or fear, anxiety, depression, whatever, and you've become the mind of that. And now you're the boss and I'm running around after you and my life is not feeling very good. Shit, I gotta become the mind. So you have to become the mind and you gotta be greater than your body. And man, that's a challenge when your body's used to just running the show, doing it without you. So the very first step is to say, I've got to learn how to pay attention to what I'm choosing to pay attention to. So, this heart focus thing is a really simple, not necessarily easy, but simple, and anyone can do it if they want to, way to start doing that. And, if you're dedicated, if you want to become coherent, go and study the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I haven't found anything more effective for me, because it's science, and anyone can do it if they want to. So, choose your heart because it's simple and because it's powerful, right? You get your heart coherent, your whole body's going to change, your whole thinking's going to change. Put your attention there. Put your attention there, right? Imagine your heart, not so much the beating, but the energy, the heart center, and you have the whole chakra thing and it's green and whatever. I don't see it like that. I just feel it as a center of energy in my body. And I have learned, I have practiced, I have got good at putting my attention in that place and holding it there. But to start with, it's like, because my brain was incoherent. I had to practice. And then, maybe just do that for 30 seconds. Watch a clock if you have to. And then, that's convergent focus, right? Divergent focus, another word for that is open focus. So instead of focusing on the matter of your body, your beating heart, whatever you feel there, you open your focus into the space around you. So I've done this. It's like painting in a picture. When I was really still learning this and still creating a super highway in my head for this, because you're making new neural architecture when you do this for the first time, every time. I think, okay, the space around me, it's usually easy to think about the space in front of you, right? Going from here in my body to the space around me. And sometimes I would kind of just run my awareness around my body. So I think I'm painting in the right side. Okay, there's a space there. Now, what about the space behind my right shoulder? What about the space behind my back? And then my brain would go a bit of wobble. And they think, hang on, what about the space in front of me on the left and beside me and behind me? And I kind of join the dots. And, the space right behind me on my left, I missed that. But I lost a bit in the front, And you practice having your attention go out around you. And now it's easy for me. And I have this kind of visual inside my head. And we've probably all seen this on a movie where you have, it's like in The Mummy, that movie with Brendan Fraser, which is such a lot of fun. And when the mummy finally dissolves into sand, it just falls and goes out. And I imagine it like that. And I used to say it's like a shockwave of awareness going out around you. Yeah, it's all sensations. You're totally right, Linda. Do not visualize. Did you ever hear me say the word look or see? If I did, my bad. Sense. Put your awareness in there. And then put your awareness around you, literally around you. Sense the space. Do it with your eyes closed, it's easier. You can start with just sensing the space, 2 inches around you. There's 2 inches. And then you can, the size of my energy field, which might be 1 meter. It can get as big as 3 meters on either side of you. Your energy field can get huge when you're coherent. What about the space of the room around you? Okay, it's easy to think because we see the space, right? But what about the space behind you? What about the space outside the room where you're in? So you can practice opening your focus. And yeah, there's a beautiful meditation called Blessing of the Energy Centers. You can download it for $13. Doesn't cost much to do this. That meditation has changed people's lives. It takes 42 minutes. You go through each one, only a few minutes in each one, and the energy evolves as you move up the body. It's very powerful, life-changing. If you do nothing else, you want to get coherent, do that. You'll have to practice. Your body will say, I want to rough off, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to think about all the problems, and then you just keep bringing it back. No, I'm focusing on this. I am the mind. This is my focus. Now I'm opening my focus out into the space around me. And I can't tell you how good it feels after being incoherent for most of my life. And I didn't know how incoherent I was until I started finding coherence. And it was like, oh my God, this is such a relief. Now, speaking of which, I'm pretty sure I put this on my page. If I didn't, I got to go in and do it. There is a thing called the Global Coherence Pulse, which is a group meditation that is happening. It's 8 o'clock my time on Sunday, so a little bit earlier than this time on your Saturday or Sunday if you're in Asia, New Zealand. And it is being put together by the Resonance Foundation, and they're working with the HeartMath Institute and with the Global Coherence Initiative and a whole bunch of other people who actually know what this kind of coherence is. And I bet that they're going to be measuring the Schumann resonance to see if we actually change it, because we should. There will be thousands of us. So I'm going to make sure that I know I'm over time, but this is important. I wanted to say this, and now, So I'm going to make sure that I put that link on my page. If you want to register, it's a Zoom call. Doesn't cost anything. But this is a chance for us to get together and create coherence at a global level. And I'm really curious to see what happens and what it's like. So, God, Stan. Oh, yes, totally, Linda. See, Linda has made this journey. She knows what incoherence is like, and now she's learned, she's practiced. And that's great advice, because space, you see, you get into an open space and it's easier to connect with it. Wonderful. I got to go. I'm so out of time. Big love, beautiful people. I'm going to put that link on my page, and I also had this idea that I would put it at the bottom of this post, so I will do that in a moment. Thank you for sharing with me. Thank you for joining with me. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.